to be a good day, and here's why.
Because today we're talking about the inspirational and powerful women in musical theater. I'm Becca.
And I'm Eni, and this is Sincerely Us, a podcast for the casual musical theater fan.
Hi, Eni. How was your week?
My week has been a week. I'm exhausted. I feel like, and this is terrible for me to say, but I'm sick of vacation. Like, I had the vacation with you like 2 weeks ago, and now I've been in Chicago with my great-grandmother and my family for 6 days. Tomorrow will be 6 days. And I'm, like, exhausted. I just want to go home and sleep in my bed.
I mean, it's a good problem to have.
I know. And it's a terrible thing to complain about, but I'm still complaining about it. How you feeling?
I am surviving. As you guys can probably hear, I have an upper respiratory infection that the doctor says if I continue to get worse, will turn into laryngitis. And I was like, oh, great. It's not like I have a podcast or anything. I don't know what you're talking about. So I am drinking a cup of tea and being real chill right now so I can get the rest that I need after we finish recording this. Because, whew, doggy, my throat hurts.
I'm sorry. Well.
Oh, yeah, it's your fault.
Now that all the negativity is out. What are your potatoes this week?
My potato actually is related to my throat because I thought I had bronchitis, which is worse than laryngitis and worse than an upper respiratory infection. So we're glad it's not that. And that is because I have, like, you and I have talked about this before, like, privately, but I have, like, a touch of hypochondria. And so the second I get something in my head that I have really bad anxiety about it. And I went to the doctor. She said I'm fine. So I'm fine. It's great. I don't have bronchitis.
I'm glad you don't have bronchitis.
Yeah, because I literally wouldn't be able to talk. So I'm glad I can talk. Especially because, this is a little teaser, we have a really exciting episode next week. So just throwing that out there. It's another one of my potatoes.
I mean,
it's like a tater tot.
We have a really exciting episode this week that we're recording right now.
Okay, but also next week. I'm excited about all of our October episodes.
I'm excited for just, like, all of the things we have planned.
I know, me too. Which is, like, I hate when internet creators say stuff like that. Like, there's so much stuff I can't tell you about. It's like, but really there's stuff we can't tell you about.
You'll find out next week.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, my first potato this week is the fact that I'm here in Chicago. Today, Monday, is my great-grandmother's 100th birthday. She turned 100 today.
That's crazy.
So we're here in Chicago. That's why we've been up here. Mm-hmm. And we've been celebrating with her and hanging out with her. And it's been awesome. She gets to see her great-grandson, Liam, my nephew.
Oh, I love him.
Is that how that works?
That's his that's her great-great-grandson. Yeah. Because she's your great-grandmother.
In Spanish, it's tatarabuela. That's how I say it, so I never know how to say it in English. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and it's great to see her, and she's an amazing person and an amazing, I love her so much. And she's 100 years old and lives in Chicago by herself in her own house. She's a badass. I love her.
So she's perfect to mention on our episode about powerful female
absolutely.
Characters. That's awesome.
She's also like 4'7".
That's so awesome. I don't think I've ever met someone that small.
So it's funny because, like, she started off the same height as my mom, but as she's gotten older, she seems to be shrinking. Mm-hmm. And she, like, freaked out because when she went to the doctor, like, I think, like, 3-4 months ago, they measured her, and she's 4'7". So my mom's 4'11", so she's lost 4 inches.
Wow.
Right?
That's crazy that our bodies do stuff like that.
Yeah, we're a short family. I'm the tall one.
Well, sweetheart, you're Cuban. Aren't Cubans tend to be smaller?
I don't know.
I mean, listen, the only thing I know is from One Day at a Time, and all of those women are very small.
I'm so happy that you're obsessed with that show.
Listen, I'm on season 3. I'm almost done.
We recorded an episode last week, and you had only seen, like, 3 episodes. I'm so proud of you.
No, okay. This is a part of my first potato. I have been sick all weekend, so I've literally watched 11 hours of One Day at a Time. I'm not exaggerating. I've watched 2.5 seasons.
Well, what's your second potato?
My second potato is that this week I got to start our Christmas numbers with my dance classes.
Yay, Christmas!
Yeah. I mean, I am not like a huge holiday person, but I love when we do Christmas shows because I basically can kind of move away from the curriculum and the choreography that I've had planned for the whole year. Because, you know, kids get kind of like antsy when you do the same thing over and over again. So we are doing, with my older musical theater class, we're doing You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, which is really funny because that is not the song I picked originally. But one of our other teachers picked the song that I was going to do, like without knowing that I was doing it. And she had already started teaching it. So she got it. And so I was standing in front of the class and I was like, cause I had already done choreography for the other one. And so I just kind of like looked in my Christmas playlist and the Glee version of You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch came up. Ooh. And I was like, oh, it's very good. I forgot how much I love that version. And so it's like really slow and like very dramatic and jazzy.
I can legitimately see that scene like in my head when you're talking about this song. Like when Sue is like taking down their Christmas tree.
Yep.
And with oh my God, what is her name?
Becky.
Becky, yes. Oh my God, I can legitimately see that entire scene in my head.
That song is like very slow and, like I said, jazzy. And so we're doing a Fosse style, which for those of you who don't know what Fosse is, it is a style of dance that is used a lot in like the show The Pajama Game, during Steam Heat, and in and all that jazz.
Yeah.
And like the songs from A Chorus Line. Mm-hmm. And so it's like really slow and dramatic. And me and a bunch of those kids took a Fosse class when we went to New York in June. And so it was really exciting to get to use the things that I learned from an actual like Broadway choreographer. And we're applying it to that song. Because the two that we are doing for the year, we're doing Wicked. And so we're doing One Short Day and What Is This Feeling? Mm-hmm. Those are very like upbeat, like typical jazz routines. And so I wanted to do something different.
That's awesome.
And yeah. And then with my, like, I don't want to say little kid because they're not little kids. They're like 11, but they're like 10 to 11. That jazz class is doing Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. That's by like New Kids on the Block or something.
I'm pretty sure it's in sync.
Maybe.
I could be
Is
wrong.
That like the same era?
I've been known to be wrong.
Yeah, I have no idea. I just know I love that song, and it's on my Christmas playlist.
I'm pretty sure it's in sync.
Maybe. And my ballet tap kids are doing the Chipmunk Christmas song. So
I love the Chipmunk song.
That's so funny you say that because I literally picked it because it's my mom's least favorite Christmas song.
I mean, it's a lot of people's least favorite because I get it. The Chipmunk voice isn't great, but I love the Chipmunks. And like, I have been thinking about that song so often because whenever I edit it our podcast at like 1.5 speed. So we just sound like chipmunks. So every time I hear it, I just think of that song.
I love that song too. It actually, that album was the first album I owned on vinyl. And I listened to it well past Christmas because I didn't have any other vinyl to listen to. It was the only one I owned. So my mom would come in and be like, are you really listening to this again? You're 15.
Oh my God, no wonder she hates it.
Oh yeah, no. But she hated it before. She like hates the Chipmunks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's why, that's literally why I picked it. I texted her and I was like, hey, we were talking about when the Christmas show is and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you're going to love like what my little ballet tappers are doing. And she goes, oh, what song are they doing? And I was like, oh, it's called the Christmas song, but what is it? It's like,
I don't know.
There's like a subtitle to it. Christmas Don't Be Late. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And she's like, are you kidding me? I was like, I picked it just for you. Just for you. Oh my gosh. But I put the cute little ones doing it, so maybe you'll like it.
That's adorable.
I'm very excited. And when this episode comes out, I'll get to start those other routines. So I'm very excited about that.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So my second potato is also Chicago themed. It is food themed. It is the Italian beef sandwich.
That sounds amazing.
It is amazing. We've been to like 2 different Italian beef places on our trip. And my favorite, I think, is Portillo's, which is they have hot dogs and burgers and Italian beef sandwiches and shakes, and it's awesome. And basically it's just like Italian beef and peppers and cheese, and then they take the entire sub if you want, and you can get it like dipped in the beef sauce. And it's messy and delicious. And I loved food in Chicago. I mean, I love food in general. But all of the food that we've eaten here has been amazing. My family is actually currently getting Chicago pizza and is going to bring me some back once we're done recording. But yeah.
I've never had Chicago pizza.
It's awesome. I know people have their opinions on it, and I understand that it's, everybody has their opinions on it. I love Chicago style pizza. I love New York style pizza. I think there is enough room in this world for both kinds of pizza.
I always say that even when it's bad, it's still pizza. Yeah. So, like, I will eat any pizza. I don't care. Like, I don't think I've ever had a bad slice of pizza. And that is not a challenge, my friends. I don't want to eat a bad slice of pizza. But my favorite style is, like, Greek styles, like the thinner crust, not like the totally thin crust, but the thinner crust.
Yeah, I got you.
That one's my favorite kind. And all the like pizzerias in the area that are just like house of pizzas, I guess, they all cook it that way. And so I love it.
Then you'll hate Chicago style pizza. It's the complete opposite. The crust is super thick. It's cooked in like a pan, so it's like a pan pizza. And then it's basically like a pizza pie. Like, I know you call a pizza pie, but it's like a pie. So like it's the crust and then the tomato sauce mixed with all the toppings, and then it's like covered in cheese. So it's like a pie of pizza.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. That's amore. I love that song.
Exactly.
I didn't know that song. Do you want to know where I know that song from?
Lady and the Tramp? Oh.
Wait, maybe. Is that from Lady and the Tramp? I thought it was from the Lizzie McGuire movie.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's in the Lizzie McGuire movie, but it's definitely in Lady and the Tramp. But
that was one of the first CDs I ever owned. We see a theme, my friends. I get obsessed. That and a Cinderella Stories.
Oh my gosh.
The first Cinderella Story. That soundtrack is my favorite too. Where it has the I'll be your crying shoulder.
Also not from that movie.
A Cinderella Story?
Yeah, that's not what that song was made for.
Oh, I know, but it's in it.
Oh.
That's where I know it from.
I don't think so.
I am 112% positive that it's in A Cinderella Story.
Well, I'm sure it is. I'm just saying, like, that song wasn't, like, made for that soundtrack.
Oh, no, I'm fully aware, but it's on the soundtrack, so that's why I know it.
Gotcha.
It's when they're dancing in the gazebo. Listen, I know a lot about Hilary Duff and all of her movies. She was my first concert, and I love her.
Oh, my God.
There's this thing
okay, what's your third potato?
Hold on, I got a little tangent that we're going on again.
Oh.
There's this, sorry, this is really important, Edie.
Okay.
There's this trend going on Twitter that people are posting their celebrity crushes, and then they're asking their followers to tell them who their type is. Now, I wanted to contribute, but I already know what my type is, and I literally narrow it down to Gordo from Lizzie McGuire, because that was my first crush when I was like 11, outside of like elementary school crushes, but like the first crush where I was like, I'm gonna marry this boy. It was Gordo from Lizzie McGuire. It's always nerdy brunette boys.
That's adorable.
And that's what I think of every time someone talks about like a celebrity crush. I'm like, yeah, it's Gordo. It's still Gordo because I still like Adam Scott, Stiles Stilinski, Chandler Bing, Nick Miller.
Chandler Bing.
Yeah. So like, that's my type.
Gotcha.
That was an important tangent. Thank you for letting me go on it.
No problem. Again, what's your third potato?
It's honestly this cup of tea that I'm drinking right now. It is probably the best cup of tea I've ever had in my life. Right before we signed on, I told you I should have put more sugar in it. I was wrong. This is delicious, and I'm in love with it. And it's in like this really cute Stitch mug, and has honey and lavender in it. So if I fall asleep, that's why.
Oh no, we better get through this then.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't fall asleep. I'm too excited about this podcast. But I'm just saying it has honey and lavender in it. So, like...
Ooh, that sounds delicious. I want tea.
You're not as cool as I am, so you don't get tea.
I'm not.
You just accept it.
Actually, tea would be great right now. Which leads into my third potato, which is this weather in Chicago. Guys, I know we've talked about it a lot, but I live in Miami, and it's hot in Miami. It's
I believe
so
I called it the
hot.
Satan's armpit.
It is Satan's armpit. And the weather in Chicago has been amazing. Right now, it is 42 degrees outside. And it was cooler. I think today's actually been like the warmest day since we got here. It was like nice, like in the 60s during the day. The sun's down now, so it's a little colder. But like the second night we were here, it was like in the low 30s and it was delicious. And the hotel that we're at has a fireplace. So we stopped at like the supermarket and we got marshmallows and chocolate and graham crackers and hot chocolate, and we had hot chocolate and s'mores at the by the fireplace, and it was amazing and cozy, and I loved it. And I don't want to go back to Miami because I know I'm gonna start sweating, and I don't like to sweat.
That's really funny.
I'm gonna be so uncomfortable for like the next week as I get acclimated back to the heat. I've been able to layer my clothes, have cute scarves, and my Love Your Melon hat.
Have you seen what Love Your Melon is going to release?
Oh, the Mickey one with the two palms.
I sent you so many Snapchats when I was picking out a Love Your Melon headband where I was like, I just want this hat, the Mickey Mouse one, but it only comes in kid sizes.
I know.
I'm so excited.
And the one that's coming out is so cute, but like, why would I buy that? Like, when am I going to wear that? I already have one. Like, do I really need a second one?
Yeah.
You're probably right.
Listen, if you go to more hockey games, you can wear more layered clothing.
The Panthers are not doing well this season, I don't think. I also don't think the season is currently on. I think the season is starting soon. I don't know anything about hockey.
Who are the Panthers?
Huh?
Who are the Panthers?
The Florida Panthers, my local hockey team.
Oh. My local hockey team is the Bruins.
Oh, well, the local hockey team plays in Broward, so it's only like 45 minutes an hour from my house.
Oh, yeah, mine's like 2 hours.
So, like, I could actually potentially go to more hockey games. I just choose not to. All right, so let's dive into what we're talking about this week.
Okay, do you want me to go first?
No, maybe. Well, before you go, actually, because you tweeted from our the podcast account this morning, asking people who their favorite female Broadway characters are. So I kind of want to just like touch on the ones that were mentioned.
Okay.
The first response we got was from Sydney, and she mentioned Anastasia. And I completely agree with you, Sydney. Anastasia's a badass. And I'm going to be using that word a lot because that's who we're talking about today. And so
I only know Anastasia from the movie.
Okay, so Anastasia the stage show is not the same as the movie. They made it more realistic, so there's no like Rasputin
creepy bat
isn't in it, and he didn't like sell his soul to the devil.
Is there a creepy bat in it?
No, there's no creepy bat in it.
Good, that's what scared me as a child.
Okay, well, there's no creepy bat in it, which means you should definitely try to see it. I'm pretty sure that... Never mind. I'm pretty sure I have a bootleg and that you have access to that bootleg, so...
We don't watch bootlegs. What are you talking about, Oliver? Oliver, we don't watch bootlegs.
Of course not. We love you,
Oh my god, Edie! Edie, this is our first podcast inside joke!
Is it?
We're basically the McElroys.
No, we're not. Don't say those words. So Anastasia, like, do you know, so you've seen the movie, so you know the story. Like, she gets amnesia, and Dimitri, and I can never remember his name. Amanda's gonna kill me. His friend or whatever are basically holding auditions in order to scam Anastasia's mom out of like reward money for finding Anastasia.
Yep.
But then she, plot twist, she actually is Anastasia. So
what a coincidence.
I agree that she is a badass in the sense of she legitimately has no idea who she is, and yet she is still finding her way in this world and trying to get herself to where she wants to go, and does not take crap from Dimitri and does not take crap from anybody. And I love her.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the next one?
Yes, but she's also going to come up in my list.
I mean, that's fine, but we can at least acknowledge it.
Okay, so I tried really hard not to talk about Dear Evan Hansen because there are 4 badass women in Dear Evan Hansen, and
yeah,
I talk about Dear Evan Hansen a lot. She says literally wearing a Dear Evan Hansen shirt. But one of my favorite female characters in musical theater, and probably my favorite, I'm gonna say solo, even though technically it's with her parents, like it's basically a solo, is the song Requiem from Dear Evan Hansen. So if you know the show, I'm obviously talking about Zoe. I I think the way that she portrays grief and the way that she handles her grief in the situation in a way that is so realistic, I think makes her such a powerful character.
I agree.
I really like that they show the different side of the fact that her and her brother didn't get along at all. They had a kind of a toxic relationship. And so just because that was her brother doesn't mean that, you know, she didn't love him or anything like that, but she had a really rough relationship with him. So why should she be the one that grieves? And the way that she stands up for things like that and the way that she carries herself is, I just think it's such a breath of fresh air in modern theater. The fact that she is the one that's comforting Evan and the one that's holding up Evan instead of it being the other way around, which we see a lot in theater. I love Zoe.
I
Maggie
completely
McKenna.
agree with everything that you said.
Yeah.
That was submitted by Lucy Priest on Twitter. And
Yeah, she's awesome.
Lucy also tweeted about Jenna from Waitress. And I will definitely take the reins on that one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jenna's awesome. I mean, is
Full stop.
she, you know, like, both her and the doctor are having affairs and cheating on their like the people that they're with. So are they really awesome? Probably not. But I went at the end when Jenna actually gives birth to her daughter and like holds her daughter for the first time. She does a complete 180 and stops taking all of the crap that she's been taking from her husband and all of the crap that she's been taking from everyone and completely takes control of her life. And that to me is such a powerful thing.
Yeah.
And it like, it's because she's now responsible for this person, this, you know, her daughter, but she finds such strength in it and such, oh my God, it's gorgeous. Like the ending of that show is awesome. And it honestly starts from She Used to Be Mine, which is before her daughter's born.
Yeah.
And she's kind of in this spot of she just wants to go back to the girl that she used to be before her life was at an all-time low.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of like begging for that to come back. And in a way it does when her daughter's born, even though like she spends the entire pregnancy saying she doesn't want her kid. So
This show's wild, huh?
she is a very complicated character. Like,
I was going to say, is she like Evan, where she's like a good person, but also kind of a bad person?
yeah. I mean, again, like her and Dr. Palmer are having an affair and both of them are married to other people. So they're not great people. And again, like she doesn't want the baby. Like she's in a terrible marriage to begin with. The guy that she's married to is a complete jerk. He like verbally abuses her, like hits her, I think once, which is when she tells him that, you know, she's pregnant so that he won't hit her. And basically like forces her to promise him that she won't love the baby as much as she loves him.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's like he's a terrible guy. So like she spends the whole show like stashing money trying to get away from him. And like right before She Used to Be Mine, he finds that money, which is why she's like completely at like her all-time low because her out is gone basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it's kind of like that whole "it's always darkest before the dawn" saying.
Yeah.
Because like right after that, she like in the show she goes into labor and has her baby, and then again like the second she holds her baby, she just finds this like inner strength and legitimately leaves her husband like while she's still at the hospital. So she is
theater's wild.
A strong character at the end of that show. She
This
goes
is
through a
just
journey.
another segment of Enid explains ridiculous plot lines to Becca, and Becca is just blown away.
Waitress is such a good show. Like you should really try to see it. It's closing in January.
Yeah, it is.
Makes me very sad.
It's wild. That's a wild plot line.
Okay. Oh yeah, and that's not even the other side, like the side characters.
Yeah, because doesn't Colleen Ballinger play like...
She plays Dawn, who's
Yeah.
like her. Okay, so Jenna works at a diner where she makes pies.
Yeah.
Right, and then she has two friends, Dawn, and I can't remember the other.
Who Todrick Hall plays, right?
Huh?
Oh no, it's two women, right?
Yeah, it's two women. I can't remember her name.
Didn't Keala Settle play her at one point?
Yeah, Keala Settle originated her.
Oh, cool.
And the girl, the Asian, I think she's Filipino, from Orange is the New Black and the Liza Koshy, Liza on Demand show. She
Now,
was
right,
the one
that's a
that
deep cut.
originated Dawn. But yeah, Colleen played Dawn, who's like super quirky and is just like trying to find love. And basically,
So who
like,
does Todrick Hall play?
huh?
Who does Todrick Hall play? Ogie?
Yeah, who is the guy that she ends up marrying.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. It's a super good show. Like, you should really see it or listen to the music.
I follow, this is going to sound weird, but one of my favorite things about Broadway are like child stars. I follow some of the little girls that play her daughter.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, they're really cute.
Oh my god, Linton just sent me a picture of an empty chair at the restaurant that they're at.
Wow, rude.
With a tear face.
Rude.
They better bring me back pizza. Okay, so who is the first person on your list?
So kind of going off what we just did, I actually have 2 honorable mentions.
Okay.
Because I believe they should be on this list. Zoe actually was part of this too, but I believe they should be on this list, but we're going to talk about them at some point this month.
Okay.
So, like, I don't want to go too far into them because I'll want to talk about them then. So the 2 characters that I'm going to be, like, honorable mentions, just little snippets, is going to be Wednesday Addams and Lydia from Beetlejuice. I can't remember Lydia's last name, so it's Lydia from Beetlejuice. I just started listening to Beetlejuice this week. I have been hardcore sleeping on the show. It is so good. Everyone has told me it is so good. I love the movie, so I don't know why I didn't just listen to it, but I didn't. And Alex Brightman, who originates Beetlejuice, may be the love of my life. I've listened to like a million interviews with him.
Oh my gosh.
But he's so good. Like, you know, I really like someone when I just listen to tons of interviews with them, but also I just like interviews. So I listen to a ton of interviews of people I don't love. But anyway, I think Lydia from Beetlejuice, in the same kind of way that Zoe in Dear Evan Hansen brings this about, a lot of her character arc is about grieving because she loses both of her parents. The first song of the show is Invisible, and it's all about her saying that she's invisible because her parents are dead and like no one pays attention to her and all of that. And that kind of sets this tone for the whole show because it's a huge show about loss and about grieving and being invisible in general. Yeah. And so I think that her character arc of showing that there are different ways to grieve is really commendable. And she's literally a teenage girl. So she is quite the character. And the thing that I really like about Beetlejuice is that it's all about Lydia and not about the people so much. Like, I forget their names, but the dead people. Like, the movie is about the dead people, but the show is much more about Lydia. So.
Oh, that's cool. I've listened to a couple of songs. I haven't listened to the whole soundtrack yet. I know that we're probably going to be talking about it during our Halloween episode, so I definitely want to listen to it. But yeah, Alex Brightman, he was in School of Rock, right?
Yeah, so I'm probably going to listen to School of Rock because because now
you love Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Wait, did he write that?
What?
Did he write School of Rock?
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, listen, I am becoming a very open-minded person. So, you know, maybe I like Andrew Lloyd Webber now. Who knows?
We'll see.
Stranger things have happened. So my second honorable mention is the same kind of caveat because we're going to be talking about her at the end of the month. But it's Wednesday Addams from the Addams Family. If you know the musical, it is like mainly about Wednesday. And I, just as like a character in general, I've always admired Wednesday Addams for the way that she presents herself and the way that she's just herself without conforming to anybody else's beliefs.
Yeah, she doesn't take crap from anybody.
No, she's just like so different and is very aware of it and just doesn't care. And I adore her. Excuse me. In the show, she, I don't know if you know the show very well, but
I don't.
Basically, the show is about Wednesday, and it's about her meeting this boy that is, like, super preppy and popular and beautiful, and them falling in love, even though they're, like, total opposites.
Okay.
So, Carrie Hope Fletcher is why I know this show. She played Wednesday Addams in the UK, and she, like, toured across Europe with it.
Oh, cool.
And, well, I love her. It's actually where she met her boyfriend. He played Lucas, I want to say his name is, the boyfriend.
Okay.
So it's like a perfect theater love story, and I love it. But I just admire the way that she handles herself. And I think that, again, even though she's just a teenage girl, quote unquote, I think that she really portrays like the kind of attitude I want to have. Maybe not as negative, but
Yeah, but just that kind of like not caring about what anybody else thinks and just sticking to who you are
exactly.
kind of thing.
Yep.
Okay, so I also have two honorable mentions. They're both from the same show, and kind of for the same reason. I didn't want to talk about Hamilton because I always talk about Hamilton, and also I didn't want to talk about two characters from the same show. So my honorable mentions are two of the three Schuyler sisters.
And Peggy.
Angelica and Eliza. They're both badasses and they're both awesome. I'm not going to say too much about them because I feel like I've talked about them a lot. And I'm sure I will talk about them more whenever we talk about Hamilton. But yeah, they're awesome. And that's it.
I adore them. Eliza may be one of my like favorite historical figures in general. So I'm glad you included her on the list.
Yay.
And she's a real life. Did I tell you I saw her grave?
Yeah, you did. That was when you were in New York?
Yeah,
at Trinity
I died.
Church?
I mean, I didn't die. But
Can confirm.
Can confirm, am still alive.
Okay, so who's the first person on your list?
So kind of going off of like the Carrie Hope Fletcher train, I picked Veronica Sawyer from Heathers. She originated her in the West End. If you guys don't know who Carrie Hope Fletcher is, she's like a really great Broadway actress that has played Eponine and a ton of characters. She's currently Fantine in the West End, on the West End right now. But Veronica Sawyer, I just love her character arc. I don't know if you know the plot of Heathers very well. But basically Veronica, it's kind of like, I think of it kind of like Mean Girls, about how there's like three popular girls and then they like adopt this fourth not popular girl.
Yeah.
So it's like that kind of idea. And so Veronica is the fourth one, and it's about these three girls, Heather, that are all named Heather, and that's why they're called the Heathers. And through like crazy plotting, because it's musical theater. Well, also it was a movie, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She ends up dating this guy named JD, and then they start killing off the people in their student body.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's just like, she falls in love with this boy, JD, and it's so toxic because like he's very manipulative and all of that. And she actually has a moment where like when she breaks up with him, it's called I Say No. And it's all about like telling him like, no, we're not doing this anymore. And there's one of my favorite parts is when he starts talking and she goes, no. Shh. You be quiet. Which is, it's a very controversial song because it's not from the original cast. It was added when they went to the West End. And so a lot of people don't like it. I personally love it. But that's irrelevant, I guess. And the other song that she has is Dead Girl Walking, which is straight up a bop. It's all about one of the Heathers. I don't remember which one. It's the green one, the one that wears all green. She is the last Heather standing, and she basically is trying to ostracize Veronica.
That's the song that you played that's on your theater playlist that we were listening to on the way up to Orlando, right?
Probably. It's the one about sex.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. And basically she decides that since she's going to be ostracized by her, by her classmates on Monday, that she breaks into JD's house and basically tells him, we're having sex right now. Like, this is what's happening. I'm going to be dead on Monday anyway, so we might as well have fun. And it's like it's very body positive and sex positive, and it's just a great song. And it is my jam.
That's awesome.
So she's just like very powerful, and her whole character arc revolves around like power and stuff. So cool. I adore her.
Yeah, that's another show that I haven't like 100% gotten into, but like I've heard a few of the songs and they're awesome. But I've actually never seen the movie. Which like wow.
I haven't seen the movie either.
I know, but that's not like weird for you.
Yeah, I don't watch movies.
That's weird for me.
I mean, is it? It's an 80s. Oh, yeah, it is an 80s movie.
I've seen a lot of 80s movies. I have not seen
Yeah.
Heathers. No, I kind of want to watch Heathers.
Who's that girl from Stranger Things?
Huh?
Who's the woman from Stranger Things?
Oh, Winona Ryder?
Yeah, she's in it.
Oh.
She plays Veronica.
Who did she play?
Veronica.
Oh.
I'm gonna get so many tweets the fact that I just called her the woman from Stranger Things. She's also in Beetlejuice. She plays Lydia.
She's also in Edward Scissorhands. She's in a lot of things.
Yeah, but these are the things I know her from.
Girl Interrupted. That was a good movie.
That's a good book.
Have you not seen Edward Scissorhands?
Of course not. I don't watch movies.
Okay.
I think that from now on, you should just assume I have not seen it.
Okay. I'll try to do that. I just, that's baffling to me. Okay, so the first woman on my list, officially on my list, is Joanne Johnson from Rent. She's definitely not one of the main women. She's Maureen's girlfriend / fiance. But she is such a badass. Like, she, number one, is a lawyer. Number two is just no nonsense, does not take crap from anyone, especially Maureen. She is, the first song that you're introduced to her is during the Tango Maureen, and her and Mark are just going back and forth because, of course, Mark used to date Maureen, and Joanne is currently dating Maureen, so there's that whole dynamic. And there's a part where they're actually tangoing, dancing the tango, I guess would be the proper way of saying it. And whatever, Mark's leading because he's the guy. And then in the middle of the dance, she switches it up on him and she starts to lead. And his line is, it's hard to do this backwards. And then she responds, you should try it in heels. And that just from that moment, I was just I love her. I love her. She is everything in this show. And then she's she gets Mark the buzz line. Is that what they call it? The fake, the sellout job from Buzzline. And she's kind of just the adult of the group, the parent. She seems to be the only responsible one who has a job. And she's just awesome, man. She's such a freaking badass.
I adore her. She's definitely my favorite of the two of them. Maureen gets on my nerves, so I really like Joanne.
Maureen's a diva. That's my problem with Maureen.
Yeah. And also kind of a player. And a liar, too.
Yeah, I mean, a liar and a player.
I love Hadestown.
Maureen is a serial flirter, or a serial flirt. And at first Maureen is kind of not okay with it, but she kind of just shrugs it off. But when it gets Joanne? To the point where, that's what I meant, sorry, Joanne. But when it gets to the point where it's their engagement party and Maureen is flirting with someone, or I forgot if that's just the version in the movie or whatever it is, and they start take me or leave me, it's just she finally kind of says enough is enough, take me or leave me,
cut the crap, which is cool because that song didn't even start as a Joanne song. It started as a Maureen song.
Off as a Maureen song, and then Joanne's oh no,
we about to tussle.
Yep. She's awesome. I love her.
So the next one on my list is actually going to be two, because I like these characters for kind of the same reason, and also they're shows I talk about a lot. So I'm combining them. The first one is Catherine Plummer.
I am so surprised.
You should be. Everyone, take a deep breath. Take a moment. Are we surprised? Yes, this is very shocking. I absolutely adore the kind of characters that are women that can hold their own in a very male-dominated place. Catherine literally is I would say is probably the only female journalist that The Sun has, especially with what she wants to do. She doesn't want to do just entertainment anymore.
For those that don't know, we're talking about Newsies.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's Newsies.
It's always Newsies.
It's always Newsies with me, Edie.
The funny part about it is I was going to put her on my list. And I was why am I going to waste that spot on my list if I know that Becca's going to talk about her? 100% Becca's going to talk about her. So why am I going to put her on my list?
Why waste your time?
Yep. Why waste my time?
Yeah. So I am not someone who... I was never that kid growing up that liked the female characters. I don't want to say liked, that looked up to the female characters. I always was very like hero heavy, so I much preferred Harry over Hermione. My next character we'll talk about too. And so Catherine was kind of one of the first characters that I was like, oh, like, I like you more than Jack Kelly. I think you're so much cooler and so much more interesting than literally the main boy.
Yeah.
So
and she's just so witty and sassy.
Oh my God. There is no other woman that could handle Jack Kelly.
Nope.
Like, he gets his way with everyone except for Catherine Plummer. The fact that she has made a name for herself in journalism in general, she literally could have worked at The World and just, you know, floated by on her name Pulitzer because her dad literally owns like all of the newspapers, but instead decided to drop Pulitzer and go by Plummer and become her own person and work for a totally different newspaper that her father doesn't own. So I just really admire her drive and the fact that she, you know, makes it in a world that's totally dominated by men. I mean, when I went to school with 600 kids and 13% were women.
Holy crap. That is not a lot.
Yeah. No, it's like, 13%? I think it was like 75 of us. Yeah, it was like 75 of us out of 600.
Wow.
Because I went to a technical school. So, you know, that doesn't typically draw women.
Yeah.
So, and like when I was 14, I was a firefighter and I literally was the only female on the department.
I mean, to be fair, it's me and my assistant and then all 4 lawyers in my office are guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So I get that.
Yeah. And, you know, like right now I work for a bus company.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I really like her spunk and the way that she carries herself. And I think that she is such a good addition to that show. And she's the only female.
Yeah, I agree.
Besides, I think Pulitzer's secretary. And then my second one is kind of off the same covet. She's actually one of my favorite literary characters in general. Can you guess what show she's from?
Literary. So I'm going to say definitely The Lightning Thief.
Definitely The Lightning Thief. I've been a huge fan of Percy Jackson since I was like 12. So she like literally was the first character that was a female that I was like, oh, I'm talking about Annabeth Chase. Hi. The main lead in The Lightning Thief. Because before The Lightning Thief was a musical, it was books. And she is just same kind of character. So spunky. Always has a witty comment. She is the intelligent one. She's very Hermione-esque in that way. Like, she definitely is the brains of the operation.
Yeah.
Because Percy is not. He's a dum-dum. But I just really admire the way she has this song called My Grand Plan that is about, like, how she's going to make a name for herself. So she's been at that camp where we start our story like for 5 years, and all she wants is to go on this quest. Her mom is Athena, and it has to be assigned by your godparent. Mm-hmm. And she never gets this quest and is basically told she's not good enough and like all of these things. And so when Percy gets the quest, she jumps right on and is like, oh, I'm coming with you. You don't have a choice. And
that's
so
awesome.
You would really like her. Her whole song is incredible, first of all, but there's a line where she says, because nice girls don't get their way when they're polite, or something along those lines. I'm blanking on the exact lyric, but it's basically like, girls don't get their way if they're just polite. Like, I have to be tough, and I have to be the smartest, and I have to be the best at this.
Yeah.
Because it's so good. It actually really reminds me of the song The Man by Taylor Swift. Which you haven't listened to either, but for the, like, 5 people that got that reference. Well, it'll be more than 5 because it's Taylor Swift, but you know what I mean. For the people that got that reference, it's, like, very similar vibe to that story, to that song. So she is just the light of my life in all aspects.
Yeah, that's another show that I really need to get into. I know you've been talking about it, but I just haven't found the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next... well, not person that I have on my list is Nala from The Lion King.
Okay.
I was going to say specifically from the show, but the more I think about it, I mean, both movies kind of, and the second movie actually does a better job of showing her like drive and her like commitment to her pride and her like kind of venturing off to try to save things.
Wait.
In the show,
did you just compliment the new movie?
Listen, we're not talking about Aladdin, we're talking about Lion King.
You still don't like Lion King either.
I liked it better than I liked Aladdin. So
I'm just saying.
It's fine.
I'm just saying.
Whatever.
I just want everyone to mark this in their calendar.
I'm talking about the show right now. So in the show, Scar, well, she confronts Scar and is like, "You're messing all of this up. Everything. There's no food. The hyenas like have taken over everything. They're killing everything. Whatever." And Scar is like half listening to her and basically like wondering to himself like, why is it that, you know, everyone loved Mufasa, nobody loves me, and what did Mufasa have that I don't have? And he realized that it was, you know, a queen and an heir. So he like tries to make Nala his queen, and Nala's like, yeah, no, and basically like fights him off and then leaves. And the song where she leaves is called Shadowland, which is the song that should have been sung instead of whatever godforsaken Beyonce song they stuck in the middle of that movie.
Spirit. It's awful. I hate that song.
Okay. Well, what should have been sung should have been Shadowland, which, oh my god, Heather Headley, who originated Nala, that song is so powerful and so hauntingly beautiful, and I love it so much. And it's just basically her like saying how heartbroken she is because she doesn't want to leave her family, she doesn't want to leave her pride, but she knows that she's the only hope that her pride has in the world. And she goes off to basically single-handedly save her family.
Yeah.
And then bumps into Simba. But whatever, that's besides the point.
Well, she didn't know. She thought he was dead, so...
Yeah, she was literally just trying to find some way of saving, you know, the pride. And she's so strong and so amazing. And I really want you to see this show. It's so good.
I want to see it.
Yeah, that's it. Nala's great.
Oh, yeah?
So, since you did two, I'll do my second one now. So my last one on my list is Elfie from Wicked, which was difficult for me because it's going to be hard for me to talk about Elfie without talking about Glinda. But, you know, the show's about Elfie. So, and I think, while Glinda grows a lot in the show, I think Elfie is a stronger person to begin with.
Right.
Just because of everything that she's had to endure growing up. Like everybody making fun of her and her father basically resenting her. And just, you know, she's green, you know? That's rough.
Literally. Yeah.
But regardless, she just doesn't care. Like, she goes off to school and she wants to learn everything that she needs to learn so that she can go to Oz and meet the wizard and better her life and do everything that she wants to do. And she's so driven and so smart and so powerful, it turns out. And I think she's just a great character.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about her. She is super, like, when she finds out that the wizard is silencing the animals, like, she goes and starts, you know, her whole thing trying to save them. And it turns from this, like, selfish thing, because originally she wanted to meet the wizard and, you know, be famous enough for the wizard to ungreenify her, you know, so that she can be normal, which, you know, seems like a normal thought to have as someone who is most likely insecure about, you know, the fact that she's green.
Literally.
To this, well, this guy is not who he says he is, and look at all, you know, the wrong that he's doing in the world. I need to fix everything.
Yeah. And
goes out and single-handedly is trying to fix all of the chaos and stuff that the wizard is, you know, wreaking.
I adore Elfie. She definitely is like the epitome of strong female character.
Oh, absolutely.
That's probably, I think that's why this show is run for so long.
It's such a good show. I love that show so much.
Me
and
too.
don't get me wrong, Glinda, like, she grows to be a strong person. She does.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, again, she's the one that confronts Madame Morrible and the wizard in the end and ends up, you know, like, banishing both of them, basically. Yeah. And she's the one that kind of saves the day.
Yeah.
But again, the show's about Elfie. I think Elfie starts off as a stronger character. Maybe not internally, but definitely externally.
Definitely.
And she definitely grows to be internally strong as well. Both of them do.
Yeah, I love Elfie.
I do too. Now I want to go listen to Wicked.
I know that's the hard part about doing this show or doing this podcast, because I like am trying to listen to like new shows so that we can talk about them and like stay up to date. But then I'm like, but also I just really want to listen to Wicked and Les Mis.
Yep. Same though.
Speaking of an old favorite, we're going to talk about another one of my like all-time favorite inspirational characters in general. Elle Woods is the best character, in my opinion. One of the best characters that has ever been written. When I was growing up, Legally Blonde was one of my favorite movies of all time. The first and the second. Red, White, and Blonde is a classic, and if you don't believe that, you can actually fight me and at me on Twitter. I will fight you. I just think the fact that she, started off as this, like, quote-unquote, like, dummy and bimbo that everyone thinks she is because she's blonde and likes, like, fashion and is rich and all of those awful stereotypes.
Yeah.
Which she fits totally, because it's the way she portrays herself. But, I mean, there's a reason that when she's at UCLA, she has, like, a 4.0. And if you don't know... Oh, no, I mentioned Legally Blonde. Okay. I was going to say, if you don't know, I'm talking about Legally Blonde. But I did mention that. Sometimes I get, like, too into something, and then I just forget that we're not just having a conversation. So, she has, like, a 4.0 at UCLA, which is in fashion merchandising. But there's a reason that, UCLA, which has its reputation for being, like, a party school, and it is. But it also is a hard school. So you still have to get, like, good grades and stuff like that. And so she has a 4.0 there. She's the president of her sorority. She's, like, in a ton of clubs. And then this guy breaks up with her. And she's like, I'm going to go to Harvard and pursue this guy. And even though she goes there, like, originally just to pursue Warner, she realizes how good she is at arguing and being a lawyer. And she totally, like, flips everything around. She starts to become the top of her class, which is, like, something that I have a problem with. There's no way she would have been valedictorian of Harvard when she starts off, like, her first semester not well at all. It was almost flunking. But she is just who she is. And her character arc, she tries to... start wearing darker colors and tries to fit in and stuff. And then she's like, you know what? No, I'm not doing that anymore. I am who I am. I'm a very smart go-getter, and that's just who I am. So every time I need to feel good, I watch Legally Blonde, either the musical or the movie. I don't care. I am not picky. I love Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon. I love Laura Bell Bendy. I love Christian Borle. I love Luke Wilson. Like, we're good. Either one. So that, while being one of my favorite musicals of all time, it's also one of my favorite movies. And so she obviously is the top of my list because I love her.
Legally Blonde is one of those movies that I think I've watched it so many times because I feel like my band director had it on DVD. So anytime we would take a band trip on, like, a coach bus or whatever,
that's hilarious.
We would watch it all of the time, or anytime there was a substitute, we would watch it in band. And it's one of those movies that if it's on TV, I will, like, stop and watch it no matter what point in the movie it's in. So you would think that I would listen to the musical, but again, I'm a terrible person, and I get stuck in my ways, and then I go back and I listen to Wicked. I need to reach out. That is my goal. I'm gonna start listening to new things.
Oh, I forgot to mention this during my Catherine Plummer thing. Did you know that Newsies has been announced is going to be on Disney+? It was like thing I knew. Yeah. It was like a thing I knew, but, like, I was real nervous for a little bit.
I'm so excited. That's why they pulled it from Netflix.
Listen, I am aware. This is like the Spider-Man thing. I knew how it was going to end up. Doesn't mean I didn't get a little nervous.
Oh, of course.
But, like, I was like, please, I just need to be able to watch Newsies constantly. That's all I want with my life.
Okay, well, I think that's a good place to end it.
Absolutely.
I know that we obviously didn't talk about all of the strong women in Broadway and all of the strong women characters in Broadway. I know that there's a bunch that we missed. Feel free to let us know who we missed. You can tweet at us. The show is at Sincerely Us Pod on Instagram and Twitter. Or you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at _EedyMeeny. That's INYMEENY.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca Eddowes. That's BECCAEDDOWS. I almost just misspelled my own name. Yes. That almost just happened. Our art is by Synergetic Art on Twitter. She's awesome. Go follow her and hire her because she is so easy to work with.
She is, and she's awesome.
Yeah. And kind of going off of my last character that we ended with, I'm going to leave you with an Elle Woods quote. You must always have faith in people, and most importantly, you must always have faith in yourself.
Sincerely, us.